Okay, so we're going to be completing a flower. I have the majority of the petals actually done right now. Um, Now what we need is yarn, something round tubular. It can be a straw, it can be a fish tank, tube, whatever you have handy. It could actually, I don't think a crochet hook, it might not work because we do have to stick our needle, our tapestry needle inside a little bit, but well, I'm trying to think if, something round and hollow. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set these aside for right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm using 3, not 2, because I found that first I want to make a knot here like this. I found that 3 actually makes the outside petal look nicer. That's just what I liked. And so we can see the difference here in the petal sizes. So this one is done with 3. This one is done with 2. And so I liked the look of this one better. Well, it was larger, but I'm going to mix them together so we can actually do both. And so what I'm going to do is place them together like this, and I want to weave them. I'm wondering though, I never thought if I just wove them every other one, how that would work. But I was just doing it like this. Okay. And so where we're going is right here through this one right here. Like that. Just like that. Oh, so we don't want to go down too far. No, we don't want to go down too far. Okay. So I'm leaving this part open just a little bit like that. And so I found that it fanned out nicer by doing it this way. And the loops are going to adjust. So if you don't have a larger tube, you could probably use a larger tube. Whatever you've got handy. Actually, you could probably use a paper straw. If you have a paper straw handy, you could probably use a paper straw, whatever you've got. So I'm showing how to do this with an extra straw, not just one. And so I'm making a flower. So I have a lot of petals that are already pre-made, so we're probably going to be spending a lot of time sewing all the petals together. So we do have some big yarn blobs going on and a bunch of yarn tails going on, but we're just going to keep doing this right like this and looping it around like this. And so I need to unravel just a little bit more yarn here. Just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit of yarn like this. And okay, just like that. And I may have to temporarily mute my video possibly, but I'm not sure. Okay, I'm wrapping it around just like that. So you can see I've got it. It is a little bit, it does appear to be a little bit tight at this end. And so And unfortunately, I have a tendency to make it kind of tight that away. So what I'm going to do right now, I want to make sure these loops at the end here don't come off. And so I do mine quite a bit different than what I saw in the video that I watched, because it seemed like it left out some steps. So what I'm going to, I need to set that aside. So what I'm going to do here is loop this around one last time like that. And I'm just going to make a knot here to secure all of this in place so it doesn't unravel. That's all I want to do, just like that. Okay, so right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread my needle. Let me set this one aside back further. And so I'm going to thread this needle like this. And okay, so what I do, this is what I like doing, is working my way. I'm going to go back this side. I'm going to work up here like this and pull this through. I want to make sure I don't have a big knot blob. So I'm going to use this little area right here. It's kind of a groove between the two straws. I'm going to go through here and then go up, because I want to make sure all of these loops are secure like this. I want to make sure all of them are secure just like that. Now I want to go back down in here again, and I'm just going to periodically pick up the loops like this. Make sure all of them are secure. I'm going to go down here and then go through one last time just like this. Okay, so I've got all of them secure right now. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to do, I think it's called a blanket stitch. It's sort of like embroidery, and I'm doing the blanket stitch. I'm going down here, and then I'm going to come up here. So it doesn't matter how far I do my blanket stitch now, because I have all my loops secure. Now the video I watched, it didn't make sense to me because they were doing the blanket stitch, but none of these loops were secure. And that was the part that didn't make sense to me. I thought, well, how can you achieve this unless you secure all your loops first? Oh, crap. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I had a big mistake here. This is terrible. What the heck happened here? Okay, we're going to work with it anyway. We're going to keep working with it anyway, because I'm going to make it work. We just had, see, that's one of the hazards here, that we're going to make you work anyway, whether you want to stay on there or not. You are going to, okay, let's see here. I think we can get these back on here like that. We're going to secure them on there. So that's something to keep in mind. That's what I'm always concerned about, is the loops coming off the end. So maybe you want to add a little tape on the end so they don't pop off like that. But I'm still going to get this to work. I guarantee it. I'm going to get this to work. Okay. And I'm going to keep working through the loop here. Hang on, I see it. We've got a comment here. So I'll go over here and look and see what the comment here is in just a second. Okay, let me make sure I've muted. Yes, you guys are muted. Let me go over here to live and let me see what the comment is. The flower is really pretty. I can see so many ideas. Hello, Lauren Backer. Lauren Backer. Hello. Okay, so we're going to continue working, and so it's not the end of the world if they come off. It's just not the end of the world. It appeared to me that it was going to be the end of the flower loop, but no, we're going to keep working, and we're going to get it fixed, and it's going to work because we have all of these loops secured anyway. And you know, flower petals are not perfect. And you know what? That actually makes crochet flowers look, I think it makes them look better when they're different sizes. And I know I always loved the pansy flower because of the fact that the pansy has different sizes. Now I'm going to go through a loop right here. We still have them all secure. Now the ones that are not secure are down here on this bottom row. Thankfully we didn't have any of them pop off. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to loop down this direction like this, and I'm going to secure with a little knot. And I'm notorious for making lots and lots of knots. Very, very notorious for making a ton of knots. But when you're doing stitching, actually everything in crochet is a knot. Okay, so now we've got that part done. Okay, so you can see our disaster here at the beginning is not as bad as what we thought it was going to be. It's still workable. Okay, so what I'm going to do this time is I don't have like a little valley right here between the straws. So I'm just going to I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure like this, and then just pick up these loops because I don't want these loops to come off. So I want to loop them all together like this. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to work as hard as I can to try to get all the loops, to get a strand of yarn through all the loops and try to avoid this from happening, which just happened. But we're going to fix that. Oh, we still got part of our strand there. We're going to fix that eventually here. Am I going to get this done or not? Are you going to work for me? No? Maybe? Yes? Oh, we still have a tiny, okay, let's get you over, and then I think we're going to, yes, now we got it. Okay. So what I had to do was, oh no, well, it's not the end of the world. Feels like it is, but no. Our flower petal is going to work here. Okay, now we're gonna try not to stab ourselves, but I just did. What I do, I must have broke part of my, I broke part of this open. I didn't cut that. So because I've been using these straws, it actually, I've pierced through one of them, and but you know what, that's not a bad thing actually, because of the fact that, okay. So, but right now, oh no, I was supposed to do this. Okay, I can still do it even though I took my straw out. Okay, because I wanted to loop back through. So typically, I'd go through here and follow through with the straw. So this just proves I could use a pencil or something too. If I had two pencils and I don't have straws, I could do the same thing. Okay, well, let me gently try to pop these ones out without making much of a larger disaster. Okay, now I want to pull this tight like this. And lo and behold, we've got our flower petal here. Look how beautiful that is. And it still worked out. Now I do need to secure this little guy. I actually like to take and put these together like this. And look what we've got. See our disaster? It looked like it was going to be a much larger disaster than what it really was. Right there when we were doing it at the beginning, it did. It just looked catastrophic, but now it's not as bad as what it looks like it was going to be. And I've almost got a circle here. I think they're so beautiful. I totally love this. Okay, now we're going to set you guys aside. And what I'm going to do is bring all of these guys back over here. So I think I've got 6 or, I don't know how many petals I have. I've got a whole bunch of petals here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 petals. Okay, I'm going to leave my longer yarn on here. I want to see, the thing is, I'm wasting a lot of yarn right now with the tails. But I purposely have them longer for the purpose of if I need them. If I need the tails for some reason or another. And so I am securing a knot here at the end like that. And then I'm going to go through here like that. And then I'm going to go through here like that. And okay. So I'm just going to cut the shorter ones off. Oh, my scissors are starting to get dull. Okay, so I want to look at the rest of these and see which ones I need to. I thought I sewed all these in, but I guess not. I did a couple of them. But I need to sew all these tails in before I sew the rest of the tails in. Okay, so I need to loop through here like this. So this part is constructing our flower now. That's all we're going to be doing now, is constructing our flower. And so I like to kind of loop a knot in here, like, you know, just to secure it, make a knot, and then go back through the opposite direction like this, and pull snug, secure like that. Okay, now I'm gonna cut this off. I'm going to cut this off. I shouldn't use improper English, should I? Or yes, I should. Improper English. Okay, so you two, we have you guys ready right here. Let's see. Okay, you are ready, and you're going to go over here because you only have one streamer tail here on you. You look like you are ready. You're a small one. Okay, we're going to have to, okay, we've got just one more to do here. Okay, which is, we got to sew you in here. We've got one more of these tails, and okay, we're going to sew you in through here right like this, from there to there, and then over here like this, and then we're going to make a knot right here, and then we're going to sew you in like this. Now these tails, there is a possibility they could come out in the future, you know, so if it's for you, you're gonna remember because you made it. Now other people, if you give them something, they might think it's falling apart. They might think their whole project is falling all apart. And so if you're giving it as a gift to someone, you might want to tell them that it's not really falling apart if the tails come out. That's just part of how it's constructed. Okay, so now what we're going to do is start aligning. Let's see, we could just do like let's see, which one has the longest tail here? Maybe this one does. Maybe I'll try it like I saw on the video and see what it looks like the person did it. Maybe I won't need all these extra tails, or I might not. This one's actually larger though, it looks. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here like this, and I'm just going to align them all together like this and see if it works. I hope it does. I'm just going to kind of align them together like this. I'm just pancaking them on each other. So somehow this one is a little bit smaller like this. And so I'm just pancaking them on top of each other. So I've got 4, and then I've got this one is 5, and then 6 is right here. And so what okay, well, this looks kind of pretty too. It almost looks like an armadillo, or we could make a pine cone. Yeah, it sort of looks like an armadillo there, doesn't it? It really does. We could make a little tiny armadillo this way. That is cute. Oh my gosh. Or a little tiny tree or an armadillo. Oh my goodness. What creature? I see a creature here. Just by doing this, I see a new creature. And it, now the part that, and plus we have a flat bottom, so it sits like this. Now look at this. If we set it right here like that, we've got a flat bottom. Okay, I need to go on and move on, or I'm never going to get my flower done. Okay, so, okay, I've got the flower done here like this. Okay, this isn't going to work very well for the flower like this, but what I'm going to have to do is kind of fan it out this direction. Let's see what we can get going by fanning it out like this direction. Okay, so we're going to do a little magic here and fan it out. And okay, I might have to move some of these strings around. And so I'm just going to keep fanning this around like this. Okay, we're going to move you. Oh no, we need you right now because of the fact. Okay. Yeah, this is actually working out pretty good. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited that this actually looks pretty decent. Now, okay, we're going to hold. Okay, I don't want to pull it too tight, and then I'm going to end up with my armadillo again. But that was fun. We made a green armadillo out of, oh my God. I get too excited over silly stuff, but I just am. This is how I've always done things. I'd be sitting by myself talking to myself because I'm the best conversational. I understand myself and I listen. What's that t-shirt I was just looking at? I need to reference that t-shirt again do I still have you up? No, I don't. But there was a t-shirt that I talk to myself because I'm the best listener. I think that's how it goes. Something like that. She talks to herself because she is the best listener of herself. And she understands herself. Okay, so now we're going to start doing this. Okay. This petal probably should be more over here like this, maybe, I'm not sure. But I just kind of like it like this. I really like the flower just like that. So the beauty of this flower is we can shape it however we want to. So I'm just gonna, oh no, I don't want to go that wide. If I go that wide, I'm going to have a giant loop. Unless you want a giant loop. Uh-oh, what did I just do? What did I just do here? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go on around. I don't want to make a knot. I don't want to make a big knot. Okay, so I want to try to go back up in a similar spot on the back side. I'm just trying to secure these in place a little bit so they don't completely fall apart. Okay, so we're right there. So now I want to loop under a little bit like this and go over here a little bit this direction, like that. Okay. I love this flower. I totally love this flower. And then we're going to go up here like this. I can see so many different things. The armadillo is the one just the little animal. Now what I do right here? Somehow I messed up. What did I do? Oh, this is terrible. Oh my goodness sakes. What did I do right here? I ended up with a loop that it's got to be from my main string here. I screwed up really here. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so, or were you, I don't know. Okay, there, okay, you were attached in there and you weren't supposed to be. Okay, so, okay, let me see if I'm going to hold on to you guys like this. And I'm going to try to just secure the rest of you like this. Oh, okay. Okay, there you are like that. And um, and so we're going to weave through here like this and secure some of you guys like that in place, and then we're going to weave around and through here. Now we can make our flower. Remember, hello, hello, Liz Horn. Well, this is not even crocheting. This is actually just made with straws. Look how beautiful this flower is. But you know, I see something else that I'm going to do. I actually kind of made an armadillo a little bit at the beginning when I piled and stacked them on top of each other. I made sort of an armadillo. So I'm just going to knot here because I've been looping them through for a while. I think they're solid enough. So I see something else here that I want to do, which I think that what I'm just going to do is make a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to braid for a little bit here now. I'm just going to work some braids out on the flower like this. I could do a twist too, but I'm just going to work a braid here. I was going to sew all of these in, but I thought, no, I'm just going to make a braid because I'm going to make a vine. That's what I'm going to do, is just make a vine like this, and I'm just going to keep braiding and twisting it around like this. I could crochet it, but no, I'm going to just keep making a braid here like this. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. Pretty little baby. Okay, let's keep on twisting and twisting. See, it pays off to leave extra string. You know, it might look like it's going to go to waste, but no, it's not. We could turn this into oh. Oh, this is so pretty. A flat braid at that. Flat braid. Let's just keep going. I'm going to keep braiding and braiding. Hello, Liz Horn. Yes, you're showing flowers. And is that a little squirrel or an owl? A tissue box, a little brown tissue box. Not sure. Flower with a pink flower and a flower that has a, what is it called? A stamen in the center. They're called stamens, I believe, if I remember correctly. Gosh, if we made this big enough, well, it is big enough, I could make a wedding ring. You see my beautiful wedding ring here? Okay. Okay, so let's keep going like this. We're just going to keep making this larger and larger and larger because we can't have a stem. You know, I mean, the stems, it's my understanding from what the scientists and archaeologists and paleontologists have said, is that there is tree roots buried in the earth thousands and thousands of feet, maybe even hundreds of miles into the earth's core, however far that they can go, that they've actually found tree roots that deep. And I don't know that they're actually still living, if the scientists have said that the tree roots are living, or if that's just how far down they extend, because they can reach the water into the caves and things like that, or if some of them have been turned into, from organisms into fossils, into a mineral, from an living organism into a mineral, such as a stone. And so, okay, so that's far enough there like that. So what I'm going to do right now is take this, and I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat. And we are going to make a knot, a giant knot of 6 threads right here, just like this. This is what we're gonna do. And look, okay, now we have a little tassel here at the end too. Okay, so we're gonna, actually, I'm just thinking out loud here and silently at the same time. I tend to do both. I'm going to leave my little tassel there like that. Now, if I wanted to make my tassel longer, I could, but I'm not going to because I actually like this. And so I like this a lot. We've got a green rose now. Look at that. Oh my gosh. A green rose. We literally made a green rose. It does look like a lily pad. Oh, you're right. You are right. A lily pad is actually better. Do you think, have you ever seen like a is there such a thing as a lily pad rose? But you are right. This is absolutely a lily pad. But what I did with piling these on top of each other, though, there's another creature that comes out of that, though, too, at the beginning. And so when I stacked them on top of each other, and now I kind of want to make something. I want to make an animal. I could make a squirrel or an armadillo, any type of flat. I don't know if that's the part that will be clipped or not. If it's not clipped by AI, I'm going to clip it and show what I did with stacking these petals together to make an animal. Yeah, absolutely, a duck. Oh my gosh, yes, an alligator. There's so many different. It's a template, So that's what a lot of the stuff with crochet is a template for something else. And by using the straws, see, it takes the crochet out of it, but it's still, you can still crochet or knit with it, but it makes it easier so other people who don't crochet can do it. So it's a string, so I have another channel that's just strictly crochet. It's called Heartstrings. That's all it is crochet and strings, so that's why I liked that name, Heartstrings, for some reason. I know why. I'm gonna cry now if I tell this. I have to gather myself for a moment. There was a lot of things going on before the insurrection, and so I was just sitting in the chair one day, and I was just sitting by myself, and I was just feeling all this anxiety and everything. And I sat there and I closed my eyes, and so my kids were heavy on my mind, but the other kids in the neighborhood, they were playing on trampolines, and I could hear them. And I was just listening to them playing. And this voice pops in my head, and it says, that's your heartstrings. And so it was just kind of like the mishmash of kind of like I view the roots that go into the planet Earth. It was just kind of like there's your heartstrings. Let's see if we can make a heart out of this. Make a little heart. We did make a heart. You see that? We made a heart. It said, there's your heartstrings, the little voice, because I was under a lot of stress and things at that time because of everything that was going on. And so I was just trying to be in contact with my kids because that was all I had. But at the same time, I know they're grown up and they want to be treated as adults. But they were too far away to actually help me with what I needed. They couldn't even do it anyway. But yet everybody on the internet is, oh, you should have family, you should have family. And it's like, I am so sick of hearing that. It's like, I fucking hate Disney. I hate Disney with a passion because of the fact of their family shit. And it's like, yeah, I get what they're doing. They go into these different places. They have a bunch of people who don't know each other, and then they pretend that they know each other. And that they're supposed to just get along. Now, I don't believe that that always happens. I think that there's a different element because men have different thinking than women do, and so you're taking just a bunch of co-ed people, young people and old people, trying to mix them together, and that's not going to work. So, and they never talk about the negative sides of how things don't work within their own industry. I mean, it ends up in tabloid media and other places. But the fun part about my new YouTube channel, I think heartstrings, other people I think use it too, though. But I liked it because of the heart is so popular. And then I thought heart and strings, and so that kind of trumps out everything else related to popularity. And so it just reminded me of my kids, and my kids, even all of them, what little bit they talk to me, but they do. Some talk to me a little bit more than others, but they were like, why don't you start your crochet channel again and see if you can get it going? So they were really encouraging me to start a new channel to see if I could get things going again. They said you liked doing it, and they said when you moved to where you were at, you really liked it at the beginning. And that's true. My son told me that, and that was something I always remembered. And I thought, you're right. I really did like the area that I was at because of there was just something about it. It was just like I don't know, it was almost like a city that was sleeping, but at the same time it was something that identified with me in the direction that I was going and the things that I was doing. I just didn't anticipate the resistance of something else. But that had a lot to do with my marriage too. And so the thing I always said then is, it's like, well, I could have ended up here anyway on my own somehow, maybe. I'm not sure how, but maybe I could have somehow by not being married, or I don't know. The thing that I know is that my YouTube channel, that was something I was interested in. He wasn't. And so that's something he is absolutely not interested in. He has no interest in it. And, if he was going to do something like that, he would have done it. But he has zippity zero interest in it. So, I mean, he did, so, I mean, it's like the thing that I always thought about was, if there's someone who's trying to create jobs for people, and that is through the internet, what is one person's trivial mindless job versus someone else's trivial mindless job? Be that, do I have light green string? I do not have any light green string lighter than what I have right now. No, I used to. Maybe I do. This is the lightest green that I have right now. I don't have any neon. I don't have anything at all. I used to have, but I don't, unfortunately. And so I'm just not in a place where I can do a lot of what I was doing. So in the past I would make things and just cut it and be done with it. But right now I'm more in the place of reusing. And, I always did that because what I said was I have kind of like a practice yarn. So I'll work something and then unravel it and then do it again until it kind of wears out. And, you can get away with doing that for a long, long time. And, if I was at the place where I was at when I had all my stuff, I had a ton of colors there. But I don't anymore. It doesn't belong to me. That was all basically stolen. Basically, what it is stolen from me because of some other things. And so it's kind of like, well, I always said you can, you might be able to steal things from me, but I still have what I have in my brain, and I can do what I do. Um, you know, um, Now, he was someone who didn't, like when we went traveling and stuff like that, which it wasn't that much. He made it sound like it was a lot, but we really didn't go traveling that much, even though he made it sound like uh, it was. And he said he said that the majority of my YouTube money was spent on traveling, which that was not true. Um, because I thought right now, if that was true, and with what I've spent on, doing things for myself, hello, Ethan G Creations, I could have bought a house by now. I literally could have bought a house. But you know what the problem is? There's discrimination in housing in the sense of that you can pay for a hotel stay. You can house yourself in a hotel as a safe place to live. But you can't go to the bank and get a loan and say, okay, I want a safe place to live and to house myself unless you have a job. If you don't have a job, you're not getting a loan. I don't know why. That's just how they do it. If you don't have a job, you are not getting a loan. So that means that you're basically wasting money because of the fact that these bankers are delusional. They're highly delusional. Plus, they raise the price on property too. So, uh, I mean, right now the only thing that comes to my mind is you can't fix stupid. I mean, stupid is the private sector at times. That's the only word I can come up with. Stupid is lending institution and bankers who don't want to listen. And the same thing with Wall Street is the biggest epitome of stupid on steroids and schizophrenia. I do not like Wall Street at all. I just don't. If you're going to use it for just a measure and a metric of gathering data related to the economy, that's one thing. If it's a simulation of some sort, but you need to include simulation related to people who are unpaid. And so I've always said this. It's like when you exclude a huge portion of the population related to what you're reporting on, then you're just leaving out a huge portion of the population within the United States of America. And so, which is why people are pissed off because it's like right now, whoever the leaders are, they're blowing smoke up the ass. Legacy media is blowing smoke up the ass of the president, and they're blowing hard. They're a bunch of blowhards. They're blowing smoke up the ass of the president, and I don't know if he's firing people for that reason because they're just blowing smoke up his ass. Because to me, I'm thinking, if I'm the CEO of a company, I don't want smoke blowed up my ass. I want to hear the real truth of how things are. I don't want to leave people behind. That's my philosophy, um, you know. But yet it seems like, why do men want smoke blowed up their ass? And it really seems that way. It's like the more they blow smoke up each other's ass, the more they get elected to be a president, the more women get left behind. And, then they can't figure out how they got to where they are right now because of the fact they left out women and they don't want to listen. So Uh, and then they leave out dialogue because of the fact that if they say something, then media is going to clip them and clickbait them, so then they don't get elected. Now, I know Marjorie Taylor Greene, she resigned, and I was thinking, I don't blame her for resigning. Actually, I liked the woman, but I think the stress probably got to her more than anything. I didn't know how she could do what she did, but I thought, my gosh, if she was married to my ex-husband, um, she wouldn't have quit. She would have just stayed in Congress. I know I would have just stayed in Congress, because it's like I've made analogies and called my ex-husband Donald Trump because of the fact that what he did to me is worse than the United States Marine Corps does to their recruits. So, um, and I still stick to that to this day. It's like the United States Marine Corps, when you look at how they're delivering things that they say, yeah, some of it on video may not sound so nice. They're hazing, they're doing verbal hazing. There must be a reason why. I don't know if they explain the reason why they do the verbal hazing the way they do. Or is that just movies? I don't know. I've never been in the military. I have no idea. And when I try to ask some of these questions, I don't get a straight answer. I don't get an answer. I'm not there to see what goes on. I'm not at basic training. I don't know if they would let me see how they train or not, but I know they put some of it on video. The stuff I've seen on video doesn't have all that hollering and being crappy like what's portrayed in the movies. The movies portray the military as a bunch of jerks for the most part, a bunch of grumpy jerks. I don't know if that's always true or not. I don't know if the drill sergeants are a bunch of jerks. I don't know if maybe back in the day, I don't know. Men are jerks to each other. Women are less jerky to each other, and I'm still trying to figure out how you're going to reconcile men hitting women in basic training as part of training. Men clubbing women and doing all that stuff to women and punching women in the gut so women can't have kids. Is that what you want to do? Is that what women want, is to be punched in the gut over and over by a man so she can't have kids in the future? That's something to think about right now. I'm voicing it for you. That's something to think about. So if you're willing to do hand-to-hand combat with a man, are you willing to sacrifice and not have kids in the future because of the fact that you thought, okay, I'm going to go in this man's world and I'm going to let these men be shitty to me. I'm going to let them rape the fuck out of me. And that's going to, we're not going to call the police. We're just going to let them rape the hell out of me because they can get away with it. And that's what the federal government is right now. And that's what it was for military spouses over 20 years ago. It's the truth. We're going to let them get away with crimes. And you know what? This is what I was met with. Typically, when you have a relationship, you share things about your past with each other. You're trying to get to know each other. You're not trying to hold grudges against the new person that you've met. Now, I found out, though, the more I shared with my second husband, the more he used it against me. I didn't realize that he was keeping a tally, but he was. He absolutely was keeping a tally to use the things that I said against me. And so he was doing things just to better himself. He wasn't doing it to actually be a team in marriage. So for me, I have red flags with certain men, but there's men like on my team that I'm more inclined to go to now. My team type of our guy, my team guy that is gonna. They're the ones that have. This is the thing I've always said. It might piss some people off, and I don't care anymore. I really don't. My fuck got up and flew away long before the insurrection, and so I always said white guys actually can control themselves a lot better. That's a fact. They have a huge, huge means of controlling their anger, their emotion. Now, some of them might fly off the handle or be loud. Being loud is not necessarily a sign of anger. Just being loud and obnoxious, that's just being loud and obnoxious. And sometimes they might just be arguing with their self. They're that kid on Ritalin, or well, what's the other one? They've got schizophrenia, and they just want to go around being the center of attention. It's like, okay, go be the center of attention by yourself. It's like, I don't want to be around you. Um, you know, um, so they just always want to be the center of attention all the time. And so, so I don't know what direction things are going, so I'm telling you the truth right now. If a woman goes in the military, from the last stuff I remember, and from how the things I was seeing on video related to the Marine Corps and the military and everything, and things that have happened to me and my family, it's like, if you're a female, you just well plan on getting raped when you go in the military. That's all there is to it. I don't have anything else to. I don't know, it's like, if you're a family member, it's likely your daughters are going to get raped, your kids might get raped, and your wife probably will at some point. Hopefully your sons won't, but they might. It just depends on who you're around and who you're kind of forced into them telling you that you're doing something. You're not dating a person that you should be dating, or that you shouldn't be fucking around on your husband when that's kind of the things that they're doing. Is like, well, we don't encourage stable relationships. We just encourage a man bringing his married wife along, and then, for entertainment for the single soldiers, so they can rape her at some point. Maybe she'll go to a club, or maybe she'll just get horny at some point, and then some guy will be out there and rape her. I mean, isn't that Sharia law? I mean, because so many of them, the old men especially, oh my God. I've never in my life heard so many old men on YouTube who have such a hatred for women. Oh, women should be home barefoot and pregnant. That's what my ex-husband said all the time. Women should be home barefoot and pregnant. It's like, okay, if you think so, I mean, even in the nursing home, you should be barefoot and pregnant in the nursing home, just having kids. I mean, just for your pleasure. I mean, that libido is nothing but that, for your pleasure. That's all it is? Really? I mean, a woman's just a plaything for you, a convenience for you, and then you go and do what you're going to do? That's all she is for you? Is your little plaything? I mean, and I'm someone who likes to speak from reality. I'm a realist. But at the same point, we've been censored all to hell on the internet, and people in real life don't want to hear it either, especially men. So maybe it's the men who have raped women who don't want to hear it. I never thought of that. The men who have beat women and raped them are the ones who don't want to hear about it on the internet or in real life. That's a great possibility. The ones who have abused women. But let me go back to the Bible for a little bit, for a few minutes, and then I'll be done. But the ones who have been the Bible, they quote things from the Bible, and I think that they do that. You know why I really think they do that? I think they quote from the Bible as a means to justify something negative they have done to a woman in the past. That's what I think. I really do think that. I do. I really think that they have done that to justify. So they'll find it in the Bible, and they're justifying Sharia law. Men, white men, Caucasian men, black men, Indian men, brown men, whatever color, gray men. Black and white makes gray. And we have lots of gray people running around. Human beings that are gray. They're gray aliens. They're gray. They are gray. Where's a color gray that I don't have a color gray right now. But these men are gray in color. Maybe you don't see them very often, But they're the ones that are where the black and white makes gray, kind of like you see on your screen, something that's the color gray. Um, oh goodness, I don't have any gray color right now. But anyway, something that's gray, and well, maybe this part, right. Am I going to see my finger on screen here or not? Yeah, right there. This darker part right here could look gray, because this part here down here is a little bit lighter, and so we do have some kind of grayish shadows on here, varying degrees of shadows. And so I mean, we always see gray people running around all over the place all the time. They're just gray. They're gray. They're not brown. They're not white. They're not black. They're gray. Gray people. Gray human beings. Gray. The color gray, like gray hair. Oh, like the color of a military jet. You know how military jets are gray and a rainy day cloud is gray? That kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the ones that you see all the time. Gray, as in the color gray, because we know that black and white makes gray human beings. They look like they're dead when they're born, but they're actually alive. They look kind of like aliens. Gray aliens is what they are. Wait, do I have anything that's gray? Oh my goodness, I don't. I can't find anything that's gray right offhand. And so, I know I went on a little bit of it's like if I don't get this stuff out every once in a while, then I just get kind of pissed off about things. And that's the only thing I have is at the end of my video, just to kind of rant a little bit about things. We are coming up on that anniversary of that. And now people on the internet tell us, oh, well, just forget about it. Just move on. Just forget about it. And I really feel like the narcissist that wants us to move on and just forget about it is the person who did the crime. That's what it is. That is the epitome of a narcissist, is when they're telling you just to move on and forget about it. Now, sometimes there's other people, though, for some reason or another, who will tell you to move on and forget about things because they have had similar things happen in their life, and so they're in a place that maybe they're dealing with their own issues, or they don't know how to deal with things, so they just move on. I don't know what the reason is why, but you do have other well-intentioned people who might tell you to move on, but they're just in a different place. They don't know what else to tell you. And so that's the thing with people who are in the midst of grief. They don't understand. They don't understand because of the fact that a person who has lost someone out of their life, nobody knows what to say to them. And, that's why people end up alone, because when someone needs help, they end up alone. And then they're the ones who get censored the most and censored the worst because there's just no help. Yeah. Yeah, look what happened. We ended up with 0 people watching now. I guess it's time to go. So